Hello people and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about my teams for every generation, and it's time for generation 3. So we're gonna start with Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, and then I will cover Fire Red and Leaf Green, of course. So let's start with Pokemon Ruby. So I started Pokemon Ruby off with a Mudkip. Sapphire is actually the first one I played, but I have played all three. Of course. I mean, Pokémon! Right? So, I have to play everything, right? I can't just unplay it, or not play it at all. That'd be bad for me. In my opinion, my sanity would be drained in a second, and that is not good at all. So, today we're gonna talk about Pokemon Ruby. So, Pokemon Ruby, I started off with a Mudkip. As I never played this gem before, I thought it was cool to use other Pokemon than he used in Sapphire, even though most of them are the same, not gonna lie, most of them. But it doesn't matter. I started off with a Mudkip, and I remembered that the pickup ability existed. And how pickup works is, after each battle, each pickup Pokemon with the ability pickup has a 10% chance to pick up an item after a battle. It's random, and in Ruby and Sapphire it's fixed. Like, you don't have to level it up, the loot tables don't change, so you always get the same loot no matter what level. Emerald onwards changed that to level 21, I believe, is rare candy. So I wanted the rare candies, so I figured I'd try and start that in Ruby. So I caught a Zigzagoon, which later became a Linoon, of course. As a third member, I was contemplating between Nincada and Whismur, because I know that, I don't know, I just thought Whismur was kinda cute, and I really like Exploud. It's so cool, and Loudred too, because he has these huge, like, speaky ears, right, which he can do, like, sound waves from, and I think that concept is very cool in a Pokemon design, and especially when it evolves into Exploud, it doesn't have the beats anymore, but it uses his mouth to generate it, and I think that's kinda cool. I actually didn't pick any of them at all. I went with a Slackwath, which later turned into a Truant Slacking. I had a lot of fun with it when it hit. I didn't have a lot of fun with it when it couldn't hit. With Truant, or being paralyzed or confused or asleep, because I needed to wait more turns than one to not attack, and that's damn annoying as hell, bruh. Like, so annoying, right? As a fourth member, I went with I believe, Wurmple, which I later replaced with I believe even a Trapinch. Yeah, a Trapinch. And then it turned into a Flygon later. And I called it, I don't know what I called it, but I thought it was pretty cool. In my actually first playthrough of Pokemon Omega Ruby, I actually caught a shiny Trapinch I found myself, like full odds, accidentally, so that's kinda cool. I think Trapinch's evolutionary line is very sick, so I went with it. Like, why not, right? I mean, you gotta do what you like. So, with my fifth member, I went with a Swablu, which later turned into an Altaria, because I thought, hey, dragon types, I will never get the option to catch a dragon type that easily, because you have to go all this hoochpa to even get one, unless you're playing Black and White, and Black and White 2. That's besides the point, we're not there yet with Generation 3 right now. So I went with a Altaria, and I really enjoyed it, because it naturally learned damn Dragon Dance, and I thought it was cool. It really boosted the usage of that Pokemon, and I've liked it a lot, actually. I enjoyed my Altaria. I called it Cloud, because it kinda has a cloud as a body, it kinda has a cloud. So for my sixth and last member, of course I went with Groudon. I mean, why wouldn't I go with a damn Groudon, bro? It's a legendary. It's one of the strongest Pokemon in that entire game. So of course I chose that one. I tried to shiny hunt it. I didn't succeed after 50 soft resets, so I didn't like it anymore. I didn't want to go with it. I didn't want to hunt it for it that long, so I just took it and played with it. That is like a very base team in my opinion. It's a good team. It could have been better. Like I rather it replaced the Linoon with like a Bagon that later turned into a Salamence, because I learned after that where I could find it. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it a lot. So on to the next game. Let's go on with Pokemon Sapphire. That was my first actually played Generation 3 game. But Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald sounds better than Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald. Because I'm used to that. So that's why I started with Ruby. In Sapphire I chose Chicken, the Torchic, which later turned into a Blaziken. And I chose that simply because Trico is my favorite and I wanted to play through Emerald, the better game of the three, with a Trico. So that's why I chose Torchic for Sapphire. I still think all three starters are cool. I just think Trico is the coolest because of Sceptile and the anime in Gen 4 and stuff like that. My second team member was also a Zigzagoon / Linoon, and my third was a Masquerain, evolved from a Surskit, which I replaced both of them actually. I replaced the Zigzagoon with a Lotad, which later turned into a Lombre, and I was way too late in evolving it. But it turned into a Ludicolo. And I replaced my Masquerain, eventually, with a Trapinch, a female Trapinch, I called Empress. Because I thought Empress was a cool name for Flygon. Because I really like Flygon. It should have had a Mega Evolution. Why didn't they do that? It should have had one. Goddamn! But it didn't get one. The rant is totally besides the point, even though it's part of the point, because I like Flygon. Why does he get a Mega Evolution? It better get a Mega Evolution in Legend CA. It better do Game Freak, because otherwise I will create one and send it in. And hopefully you will add it then, if you see my design. So I later again, as a fourth member, went with a Swablu that turned into an Altaria, because I liked it so much. Yeah, I just liked it so much. Actually, I liked it so much in Sapphire that I went with it again with Ruby. Same goes for all the other team members that match up. Then I went with a fifth team member. And for some reason I'm kind of fuzzy about the fifth and the sixth. I also seem to forget them. But actually my fifth is my second, because I caught a Ralts. Because I wanted to use a Gardevoir in the generation it came in. And I enjoyed that one. I mean, it was a fun one to use. More of a glass cannon, but it was a fun one. So why not use it? Why not at least try it in its respective generation it came out in the games it came out in, right? I mean, why wouldn't you do that? For my sixth member, and this one I always seem to damn forget, I don't remember. Actually, let me look up what it is. Actually, I mean, let me look up. Yeah, I'm gonna look up what it is. Give me a second, boys. As you guys know, I am a Pokemon collector, right? And I have a Game Boy Advance SP and stuff. And I always got my Sapphire copy. So, I like that sound a lot. Let's actually look at what my team was, because I'm not quite sure about two of them, but I think those were it. The Pokecenter's right here. So, my team members were... Oh my god, how can I forget my Pokemon Baron? Right. I caught an Aron, because I like Aron. And I thought Aggron was cool. So I was, again, like, why wouldn't I try and use it in its respective generation? Just in case, always blow, it always works and makes your gameplay better. I went with Aaron and I called him Baron. Baron the Aaron, which later turns into Baron the Laren, and then turns into Baron the Aggron. I just like nickname scheming. I think it's quite fun. I nicknamed every single one of them. I actually called my starter not Chicken, but Nugget. Because chicken nugget. Chicken nuggets are nice and I want them, especially from McDonald's with the frying sauce. But yeah, those were my Pokemon teams for Ruby and Sapphire. Now for Pokemon Emerald. I've played through it once. I'm now playing a Professor Oak challenge in my Emerald. I'm not filming that. I just like to do that because I like wasting my time when I'm bored. So I'm like, why not play through it a different way? But my first playthrough, I went with Trico. This is Emerald, by the way. I went with Trico. I think Sceptile is badass as hell. I like Trico so much. It's so cool. I grew up in Generation 4 again with the Diamond Pearl Platinum rant. It doesn't matter. You might not be the same You might not be as nostalgic for Gen 4 as you are for Gen 3, 2, or 1. I don't mind. Everybody has their own thing, right? So, in Emerald, I chose for Sceptile because it was so cool. It was the only one that could knock out that Darkrai. Because in the finale, nobody could touch that Darkrai. He was actually the only one that touched the Darkrai. And I thought it was cool. That made me really love, like, Sceptile. For my second one, this is kind of a blur, because there's so many more Pokemon available in Emerald than Ruby and Sapphire. But for my second one, I tried to make it a difference. I went with Seedot. Dot's the Seedot, the traded one, just so I didn't have to grind for it on my own. I liked it. Grass Dark wasn't a very good combination, mainly because I believe Shiftry is a physical attacker and it's Grass Dark. I had to rely on special attacks most of the time, especially since Dark and Grass are both special. In Gen 3, 2, and 1, Shiftry is more a physical attacker, but I stuck with it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed it. It could be better, but I enjoyed it. And for my third team member, I went with a weird one. Something I normally would never choose in a playthrough. Because I went with... Well, I again went with Aaron. I chose that one because I enjoyed it so much in Sapphire, so I chose that one again. Because I like Aggron. Aggron is cool, it's beefy boy, it's a beefy boy. So I had to choose that one. For my fourth member, it was actually one I would normally never choose. And it wasn't... Like a few years back, I liked these Pokemon nobody ever liked. Because I really like Dusclops and Dusknoir. So they were my actually fourth. And I really enjoyed Duskull and Dusclops, even though Ghost is physical and they are special attackers. I really enjoyed it. They were cool. This Dusknoir is gonna come back later, in a later video, I can tell you that. Yeah, because I enjoyed it that much. For my fifth member, I went with the Rayquaza. I didn't try to use it that much, because I felt really cheap using a level 70 before the 8th gym. Like, I felt very cheap. So I didn't try to use it a lot. But I had it in the background, you know, in the background. I enjoyed it. It's sad that you couldn't get it earlier, like at a lower level, I mean. Not earlier, but at a lower level, like maybe like 45. The level you would go 8 gem in, just like Ruby and Sapphire with the Groudon and Kyogre. But I enjoyed it. It was cool. Rayquaza is one of my favorite legendaries. Do I need to say more? I mean, it's a damn Rayquaza. As a last member, was really tricky to choose because there were so many Pokemon I've never used before and I would normally never go for. So it was very difficult because I wanted to be a mainline gen Pokemon from Gen 3, of course. I mean, I want to use as much Pokemon from that specific generation because I've used the other ones so much. But I went with a Bagon and made it a Salamence. And it was very nice to use. I mean, Salamence is one of those Pokemon, you have to know where it is, otherwise you won't find it. Because it's a specific room, in a specific spot in a specific room. Otherwise you can't get it. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it. And I was like, hey, why not use it? I like Salamence. It's a cool Pokemon. It can learn Fly, because I didn't want to learn my damn Rayquaza Fly. Why would I learn a Rayquaza Fly when I can have a Salamence with Fly? Fair in my opinion. I mean, Rayquaza knew damn Dragon Descent, which is a flying type move, one of the strongest out there. Those are my teams for Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Now, I was gonna cover Fire Red, Leaf Green with this, but I figured the video is gonna go so long because I've been recording for over an hour now and I still have to edit it and I want to do more editing, so I'm recording this on a Tuesday so I can edit it today, the whole day. It's like 2 o'clock in the evening right now, PM. So I thought I will put more time into editing, so therefore I have the whole day now and the whole day tomorrow to do it, and then a little bit on Thursday when I don't finish it, which I don't think I will leave unfinished until then. Because then my video's gotta go up at 7:30 for me PM in Europe time. And I'm gonna do the remakes separate, I think. I think that's the best thing to do. I still enjoyed playing through it. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Thank you for watching so much. Thank you for the support. Don't forget to comment. I respond to every comment I get. Doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. I will respond to any of them. I'm very enthusiastic about Pokemon. I can go on and on. I've been holding myself back the whole every video from not just rambling on and making the videos like edited an hour long because nobody wants to watch me ramble on for an hour. I mean, of course nobody wants that. I mean, that's gonna be annoying at a point. I'm trying not to do that, even though I really am tempted to, because I keep refraining myself. That's why I have to edit it so bad, because I have to edit those parts out, and the video is gonna be too long otherwise. But I still enjoy it, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of me. If you don't want to, don't feel obligated to subscribe. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it. You don't have to like if you don't like it, but I appreciate it. You don't have to comment if you don't wanna, if you don't feel like it. You don't have to, but I appreciate it if you would. I appreciate the support, and thank you so much for giving me a platform and people to ramble on about Pokemon, because I love it so much, and I just want the world to know Pokemon the way I see it, as the greatest thing there is. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next week. Mythical Scorpion, out.